Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this beautiful 3-day event where we talk about options, we talk about futures, we talk about Forex. The event is brought to you by Timing Research and TradeOutLoud, and we're very happy to bring to you guys all of these really live events. David and I are going to be your hosts today, and I just wanted to remind you really quickly that all the information that we provide is for educational purpose only. Trading involves a high level of risk, and I'm pretty sure you guys know that, and may not be suitable for for anyone, right? And you should be definitely looking at your liquidities, right? At your and definitely anything that is seen is not only for education purpose only, but before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your objectives, level of experience, risk appetite, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so with us today, we have again a fantastic lineup, and who better else to literally crack the day open than Casey. Casey has some wonderful charts here that I love, and he's a fantastic trader. He also has an awesome podcast. So Casey, hit it off.
All right. Well, thanks, Anka. I appreciate being here. Thank you so much. And thanks for the talking about my podcast. It's called How to Trade It. And I remember when you were my guest on the show, and it was just we had such a great conversation, and that's how I ended up being here. So it was really a nice connection. And thank you so much. Okay, well, we're gonna start today. Today's currency trading. It's the currency day, and I have a currency brokerage account, and so I trade a lot of currencies. But it also allows me to trade some other things as well, like gold and oil. Like this is an oil chart. I also can trade some of the indexes, and it depends on your currency broker that you use. So I might use a couple different things today that I go over that's not quite currency. Like I was just looking at this Nasdaq 100 index, was looking at that. But before we get into anything, I just want to go and just say hello and thank you for being here. And I'm going to just give you my step-by-step instructions on how we swing trade, how I like to swing trade. And the concepts are pretty easy to understand. So you want to just go ahead and write down the setups and write down the strategy and, take really good notes. I'm going to be very clear, and I'm going to make it very simple, right? Actually, there's this thing that people talk about that say 95% of traders fail. However, it's actually really easy. Trading is really easy. And yes, it's true that people fail, but it's really easy because the concepts are simple. They're simple, super simple. I think one of the reasons why people fail is because they just complicate it so much. They make things so complicated. And so, that's something we definitely want to avoid. And I'm going to try to do that by helping you with your trading today with my system. All right, so the very first thing that I'm looking for, I have right here on the thing I have on my screen, you can see I have some scanners that help me find the setups, okay? And the scanners really are nothing special. They're nothing special, but these are just basically MACD and RSI scanners. And really all it does is help me search for overbought and oversold conditions. That's it. And so I use this to help me identify my daily trade. So that's the first thing, is I have a scanner. So right now you can see that it shows Euro USD, right? And so I am going to go ahead and pull up a Euro USD chart because it shows that it's overbought right now. And you can see that Euro dollar is moving up, and that was based off a 1 hour time frame. And you can see that the Euro dollar is currently moving up. So that just gives me something to look for. It just helps me get started on finding the right thing to trade. So that's the first part, is just looking for the right setups. Okay. So now that I've done that, the next part is I want to analyze the chart, right? I want to analyze the chart, and I do something that is really important to me, and it is trend analysis and currency power and market strength, right? Currency power and market strength. And what that really means is I'm looking for currencies that are really moving. And I have a tool that I use that's free on my website that I can show you how to access that real quick. And I use this all the time, but it's just on my website here, Trading Strategy Guides, and it's free tools. And if you go down here, I have a free tool called the Forex Power Indicator. And I just think I went past it right here. So it's the Forex Power Indicator, and I use this on a regular basis. And what this does is this helps me identify the strongest currencies against the weakest. So you'll see here, this is another part of that scanning thing. So we have the US yen, the Swiss yen, the Euro yen, and the CAD yen, and the Australian. So everything's yen because yen is super weak and the dollar is really strong. So here's my thinking on currency trading. If there's one trade that's going to be better than the rest, why not just exclusively trade that? So I had already pulled up that euro dollar chart, which was good from the scanner, but now let's go ahead and take a look at the US yen chart. And this is going to be really eye-opening here. And my chart is going a little bit crazy. Let me close it. Sorry about that. I had the alerts set up and I forgot. I got to get those alerts turned off. They can be annoying. So if we take a look here at this chart, okay, and I'm going to go up to a higher time frame, but before I do that, I'm going to remove my alerts because they go crazy. All right, so there we go. So that should take care of that problem. So if we look at the monthly time frame, okay, so I always use the monthly as a guide. So that's one thing I would really think that would be important for you guys to write down, is the monthly time frame, right? So if you'll notice, ever since January 1st, 2021, we're going up, right? As a matter of fact, it's up almost every month. There's been a sideways month, another sideways. So there really hasn't even been a down month in 18 months in a row. Like, that's really powerful. That's really, really powerful, right? 18 months in a row, we've been going up. Okay. So at what point was I aware of this? Well, actually, I initially became aware of it, and I was telling people, I was a guest on a show called The Trading Battle, and I made a prediction about the US yen, and they were like, what? And I said, look at the monthly chart, right? I said, it just broke a key level. And so right back here, it broke this trend line, and I have this moving average on my chart, which is a 50 period, but it crossed above all the moving averages, the 200, the 10, the 20, the 50, and this key resistance level, this trend line. And so at that point, I'm thinking, okay, the US yen is really bullish. And so after about 3 months, I got really serious. So right in here is where I got really serious on the US yen, okay? So now that I know I'm up here, I'm up 3 months in a row, but that gives me 15 more months of long trades. And so now all I do, this is so easy. And I have a lot of indicators, and I'll go over those if you're interested, but really, those are not that important. Okay. Remember, we're talking about keeping it simple. What I'm talking about right now is the most important thing. I am now trading with the trend on the monthly chart, and I also like to use the weekly as well. Okay. So throughout this entire last 18 months, anytime we find a pullback, we are going to be looking to buy, right? And so that's where the indicators come in. So the indicators I have on my chart are a MACD. I have an RSI indicator, and this is a double RSI. It's a fast and a slow RSI. Let me show you how to set it up. There are two ways to set this up, and I'm going to show them both. So the first way to set up the RSI is on MT4 platform. And I don't know what platforms you guys use, but I'm going to show you how to do it on 2. Okay, so if you do this on MT4, you can go over and click this little star. That's called the navigator. And if you click that navigator, there's an indicator called RSI. And so you just drag it onto the chart like that. Okay, and then it'll ask you your input. So we do 14 period, your color, right? And so it's a 14 period. All right, so do you see that? A new indicator just popped up. Now you take it and you drag it again right on here. And so now it's going to ask for a different one, but I'm going to change the color because this is going to be the fast RSI. And I'm changing it to deep pink. And then I'm going to change the period, which is the 4 period. Okay, so I just added the RSI, and that's the fast RSI. And I'm going to show you how to use that in just a minute. All right, so that's how we do that. Now, the next, let me delete this because I already showed you. So now I'm going to show you how to do it on TradingView. All right, so TradingView is the same thing. We've got the same template here, and I've been trading Bitcoin the same way. We were talking about this is currency trading, but I trade Bitcoin the same way. I'm looking for the monthly trend. I've been taking this short all the way down, and I'm still short. Like, I'm not changing. I know we had a little bounce, but that bounce is nothing, right? We're still in a downtrend on Bitcoin, right? I mean, it's ultimately an uptrend. This trend line is what I'm looking for. You can see that. But until it gets there, I'm still thinking short, short, short. The only way that's going to make me change my mind is when the indicators and the price action makes me change my mind. All right, so how to add this double RSI. So you click on, this is indicators on the Mac, on the TradingView chart, and then you just type in double relative strength. And there's this indicator called Double Relative Strength Index 2 RSI by Constantino Z. So that's the one I use, right? And I add that to the chart. And then what I do is I come down here and I click on the settings, and it allows you to add 14 and 4. Okay, so I have that. So that's how to set it up on TradingView, and that's how to set it up on MT4, right? And I trade MT4 primarily because I have to put more than a couple indicators on TradingView. You got to pay a monthly service fee, and that's kind of annoying. And I built all my own tools, and I have a service that gives these tools that, well, anyone that joins our community gets access to these tools. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to use my stuff. So anyways, so now that I have the RSI, the MACD, and I have a 200 period, a 50 period, a 20 period, and a 10 period simple moving average. So I'll repeat it. I know I went by fast. It's a 20, a 50, a 10, and a 20. 10, 20, 50, 200, right? And really what I'm looking for, the 200 helps me with the trend. So I'm looking for anything above the 200. And then I'm looking for pullbacks below the moving averages, the MACD pulling back, the RSI, the slow RSI, or the fast RSI moving below the slow. That's what I'm looking for. So on this particular pullback on the daily chart, here's what we have. We've got the MACD was moving lower right here. I got the RSI moving lower. I've got below the moving averages. So now I know the trend is up, right? I know the trend is up. So I've been watching monthly charts. I'm ready to take this trade. Okay, so now what do? Well, I watch it and I'm patient and I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait. And I mean, this is probably one of the biggest challenges of trading, is that you got to wait for this. Like, look at this. This is not easy to be this patient. And most of the traders, we talk about trading being simple. This strategy that I taught is super easy, right? I mean, it's just a piece of cake. But here's the problem. Most of the traders don't want to wait for this, right? Because look how long they got to wait. You get in here. you get in right here, which is April 29th. And now you got to wait till May 30th. Wow. May 31st. You're actually having to wait for over a month. Like, that is annoying. That's super hard, right? But look, we popped down. We went below the moving average because that was just pulling in orders. You know, it's getting liquidity, getting traders to go short. Everybody's thinking that the reversal is finally here. They're like, it's 17 months in a row of US yen going up. It's finally going to short. I'm shorting, right? So we get all these shorts in here. All the retail traders that are like, it's got to come down. It's got to come down. It's got to come down. And they're shorting, getting crushed. Those are the ones that are shorting up here. But anyways, I'm just being patient. I'm like, well, I'm waiting for the long. And right here is when we got it. On May 31st, it broke above the moving averages. And so, you know, with when I talk about our members having special tools, we also change the colors of the moving averages. And, you know, that's not really that important. It's kind of cool, but, you know, it's not, you don't need that. Come on. We don't need that. But anyways, it would have been my entry on the break of these moving averages. And currently this trade is up 762 pips, and it is not even been in play for about 20 days, right? And so let's just go back to the same concept here and just keep moving back in time. So along here, we remember on January 1st is when we started being interested in, well, a little bit after that, but that's when it really changed. So here's January, and I'm going to adjust this line, and we're going to vertical line property this. We're going to make it nice and big so we can see. So this line is when I'm thinking about long setup. So if we run this strategy all the way from that point, it's going to be a pretty good result. So let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Right, let's go back in time. And so here's the thing. Somebody might say, well, you're just cherry picking, blah, blah, blah. And that's true. I am right now. I'm just cherry picking. But you know what? I've been cherry picking for a long time, and I just keep doing this, right? I have been doing this for over a year, the same trade. I've been doing the same trade for over a year, and it's just, it's like, we'll see. We'll see it work. Okay, so we're looking for the pullback. So this is the first trade, right? Back here, this trade right there. Okay, so this one would be an entry right here. Everything worked, moving averages, MACD starts moving up. We get the cross, so our entry's right here. And this current move went 250 pips. So the first trade would have been a winner. And so where's put your stop loss? Well, you know, I like to put it below structure. You can put it below the moving averages. That's one structure. You can put it below here. It depends on your risk management, but this first trade never really retraced at all. And so it's 256 pip potential. All right, so here we have it again. So this one, okay, this particular trade didn't quite work too well, right? So let's take a look, right? So I just lost it. Where'd it go? So this one, we crossed, wait, I got lost. Sorry. So here it is. This one here was the second one. Or was this no, this was the first one. I'm going to have to draw better lines. Sorry. So this one is the second one. So this one crosses up. We'd put our stop loss. Where would we put it? Well, depending on where you like to put your risk, you put it below this level, this level, this level. For this experience, we'll just go with the biggest one. And so right here would have been our stop. The entry would have been about here, and we would have gone down. And this is a 100 pip stop right there, 100 pips. So the losing trade was 100 pips, but the winning trade was 252, right? So that's really one of the important things that we need to consider. If I go back just to some of my current trade setups here, I want to show you, this is just some of my past month of trading. I just am going to save this as a report and just show you why this is important. If we go here and we look at my trade stats here, you're going to notice that my average loss is $12. My average win is 46, right? So that is a really important thing to note, okay? 46 to 12. That means what? It means the winners are bigger than the losers. The winning percentage is only 49%. No big deal. But the winners are much bigger. That's what we want to really understand. So in this case, the second trade was a 100 pip loser. So let's do it again. Let's keep going. So this trade was a loser. Now we got another trade. So this one would have been the second entry. We would have put our stop down here. And right there's the stop. Now this particular trade, again, we had everything in row. You know, the trend was up. We're going off the weekly and the monthly. I always look at the weekly and monthly. This is not a single time frame trading strategy. It is a multi-time frame strategy. There's like, well, what time period do you want to enter on? Well, you can enter on the daily, you can enter on the hourly, you can enter on the 4 hour, but it doesn't really, I mean, that stuff's important, but what's really, really super important is, to me, is that I am using the monthly and the weekly at all times. I'm always keeping that in consideration. And if those are weak, I'm not taking the trade, right? So, you know, when I'm looking at these dailies, some of these I might not have taken because I have to have a nice weekly. All right. So anyways, here's the second trade, or the third trade. Here's my stop. This stop would have been about 130 pips, but you can see this would have taken a lot of patience because it went down and then we hit a consolidation period. And consolidation periods are really annoying. And so at this point, you can do two things when you hit a consolidation period. You can either get out for a small loss and wait to get back in, or you can just tough it out. So in this case, you can see there was another entry probably right here. But when it's all twisted up like this, I don't like to trade. I like to wait for it to break out. So this one I would have been in, holding, and then finally we got the breakout. But the entry was right here. And you can see this thing went 460 pips, right? And I don't even know if it kept going. Well, it went 450 pips and then it dropped back down. And so here's another entry opportunity. So this one would be another entry. We'll put it in here. Okay, there's the entry, breaks out. Everything's moving in the right direction. It was below the moving averages. Now the MACD here is still a little bit, hasn't retraced all the way, but the arrows were pointing down. So that means that there was a retracement, and that's really all I'm looking for. And then we have the fast MACD, or the fast RSI, crossing up. Okay, and so here would have been another entry right here. And our stop would have been down here. Okay, so the entry, it went up about 180 pips. If you didn't lock in your profit, you could have taken a loser on this because this would have been a 90 pip stop loss. So it went up 180, 189, and then it retraced and you could have got taken out, right? So the way I trade, where I always move my stop and trail it, this would not have been a loser. I probably wouldn't have got the full 180, but I would have probably got a decent amount, probably up here, because I like to use these pin bars as my stops. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so that's the next possible trade. So let's do it again. So now we have another potential setup. Okay, and the price is up here. And I know this might be a little boring. This is like back testing, but you know what? This is how you get good at trading. You don't get good at trading by pushing the button. You don't get good at trading by pushing the button. You get good at trading by doing the work. And so now I'm going to go into preaching mode for just a few seconds. So plug your ears. Just kidding. I'm giving you what you need, maybe not what you want, but most, I talked about the 95% trading thing, and trading's easy and still 95% of the people lose. It's because they go in and they come in with the mindset of being a gambler, right? And so what does that mean? They have a financial problem. And so they're trying to solve that financial problem by pushing buttons, right? So you go into a casino, you pull the lever, you're trying to solve a financial problem by pushing buttons. You go in and you buy a lottery ticket and you're scratching it, right? You're throwing the money away and you're scratching the lottery ticket. Why? Because you're trying to solve a financial problem by scratching a ticket. You go in and you open a trading account and you start pushing buttons. You're trying to solve a financial problem by pushing buttons. Trading is becoming gambling to you, right? And so what you got to understand is this thing that I'm doing now, it's back testing. That's work, right? That's work. Yes, we're going to push buttons, and it's not hard work. This is easy work. This is sitting on my butt. I used to be in construction, digging ditches in 100-degree weather. Okay. I mean, this is not work for me. This is easy. Okay. But you still have to do the work to solve the financial problem. If you're trying to bypass and take a shortcut to making money, if you're trying to bypass it, then it's not going to work for you, because that's gambling, right? You're just a gambler. You know, you have a job you hate. Great. Do the work to become a trader, but don't try to bypass a financial problem by taking a shortcut, because when you throw that money away in the casino, when you throw that money away at the lottery ticket, it's not going to work. And you're just making your situation even worse. Do the work to get out of the problem, right? And so that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm done preaching. All right, so here we go. Price here is another entry right here, right? So we got price moving back up. So there would be another entry right here. And this one would have had a pretty tight stop, because I would have moved my stop down here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. And I see some good questions here. I'll get to those in a minute. So right here would have been another entry. And right now, the price could have gone up another 200 pips. The stop loss would have been back here. I look back for the other structure. So the stop would have been 160. That's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, right? And so great question. What is your exit criteria? That is a fantastic question. And so I do not have a target usually. Usually what I'm trying to do is just to trail it with the candles, right? So I like this moving average. The 10 EMA is a great exit for me. So when it hits the 10 EMA, that's usually when I get out right there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Use the 10 EMA. Some traders would like to use a 9 EMA or SMA. They're pretty close. That's a great exit criteria. Okay. Yeah, this is a 50 SMA, 10 SMA, 20 SMA, and a 200 SMA. All right, so moving right along, we keep going here. There's another entry right here. And so this one is a little tight. The prices it's a little rangy and consolidating. So, remember what I said earlier, you have to always be aware of the market conditions. And so inside of a consolidating range, we want to be aware of that, right? We want to be aware that consolidations happen and that we want to just try to stay out of consolidation. So when I have a trading checklist that I created, and I give this to my members too, but look, I have a little checkbox and I'm just saying certain things, and I use this to keep this. Look, I made it laminated. I keep it here, and I this is for me, and it's just really cool because I'm like, okay, is this market consolidating? Yes or no, right? I add that. Are there any news events I need to be aware of? Is this trade trading with the trend? Is this trade bouncing off of a support or resistance level? Is there a price action pattern, a hammer, a double bottom, an ABC, or any other type of price action pattern? Indicators, are the indicators crossing the moving average, and is the MACD heading in the direction of the trend? Am I managing risk with proper stops in place? Emotion, am I free of greed, fear, and stress, right? And I use this for me all the time. And so when you're looking at trades, you want to be aware of consolidating. Oh, is it a consolidating market? Well, then I need to wait. I need to wait for the market to make its move. Okay, so All right. Here's another possible entry, and this one was pretty phenomenal, right? Pretty phenomenal. So if we would have made our entry here, put our stop below, and that's one of the cool things about consolidation is after it breaks out, it can be a tight stop. So right here is a really tight stop of 100 pips. And then when it broke out, you can see this might have taken me out at 640 pips, or it might not have. It depends on where the close was. And sometimes if I see it in a strong trend, I might just adjust. That's where being a trader comes in and having a lot of experience. Being a trader and having a lot of experience is really important. And you know, I'm not as interested in rule following as I am as making money, right? And so here's another mindset little tweak that I want to just share with you guys. Everyone's like, what's the rules? What's the rules? What's the rules? And I am a big follower on rules, especially, well, no, I'm not a big follower of rules. Rules are important, but my only rule is I do what I can to make money, and I do what I can to not lose money, right? So the most important thing for me is risk management. And I had to learn the hard way how to take really small losses, right? And once I learned to take really small losses, and then I started to make money. And then once I learned how to take really small losses, then I learned how to extend my gains. And so my rules are, okay, so did this close below that moving average? Yes or no? I don't know. Let's bring up the display here and take a look. This shows that the close was 121,744. Okay. And the moving average is in the indicator window, was, let's see, 121.76.50. So it was 5 pips below. So according to the official rule, I would have closed this trade. But when I see something that close, I'm willing to just move my stop here. And I'll give myself an additional 30 pips. For what reason? Because if I do an additional 30 pips and the move keeps going, well, I get another 800 pips out of the deal. So would I be willing to give up an additional 30 pips to make another 800? Yes, right? So there are rules in place, and rules are important, but you always need to be thinking. Use your mind, think about scenarios, right? Think about scenarios. That's why AI is really cool with robots and all that. And I have robots. I trade robots. I use robots. They're cool. But the thing is, at this point, my robots aren't good enough to make some decisions like this, right? And so I'm like, okay, there's a potential big move ahead. Should I just give up a little bit of profit to keep the trade in mind, right? And that's how you become a good trader to a great trader, is when you make decisions like that. But everything's based off of, first, keeping your losses small, second, learning to allow your trades to run and to make money, right? So in this trade, this was another great setup, right? This was in this year. I mean, just phenomenal, okay? And so now we have the last one that I just went over right here. Another move, big time move on USD yen, another 800 pips on this particular entry right here, right? And this with a pretty tight stop loss, right? And so that's one way that I trade this. Another way that I like to swing trade it is with just smaller moves on lower time frames, still in the direction of the trend. There's a lot of small moves that, if you want to be a day trader or just trade shorter periods, like there's just a ton of opportunities. But again, I always do it in the direction of the strongest trends. And the key is you can get it from my tool right here. It's totally free on my website, tradingstrategyguides.com. And I'm just always looking, and you can click here on the 4-hour and the hourly and just see what's currently, like right now, the dollar's weak, right? The dollar's weak. So there's a Euro USD buy, right? And so you can just say, oh, well, the Euro USD strong. Well, what is it on the 4-hour? Strong on the 4-hour? On the daily? No, it's not on the daily, but on the 4-hour and the hourly. So maybe I can get some short-term setups there, right? So, and this refreshes all the time. You can just click refresh. Pretty useful currency trading tool. All right, so we got a question from, looks like from Bobby, and he says, are these currency markets more trendy when compared to ES futures? And I would say, no, they're not. I trade a lot of futures inside my Forex, right? So like, here's one that is, this is currently oil, right? Oil is just like the US yen. Let me remove these scanners here. Let me show you this oil. So I've been trading oil the same way I've been trading US yen. It hasn't, oil's a little more difficult because the pullbacks are pretty significant. But let's see here. And yeah, these are really good to trade. Oil's been just really good. Lately it's been challenging. And so you got to really understand that it's been very challenging, but we can look at the monthly time frame on oil. Look at it. When did oil make its? Oil has been going up for 2 years. You know, US yen has been going up for a shorter period of time, but oil's been going up for 2 years. Okay, so let's take a look. All the way from $21, you know, up to 128. And right now, this is a pretty interesting chart, guys. Let me just share with you a little bit about this. So this particular chart, where is oil right now? Oil is sitting at a pretty interesting support level. It's at the monthly lows, right? It's at the monthly lows. So what does that mean? Well, to me, that means that it's pulling in orders for a buy, right? Because it's at monthly lows. Is this trend over? No way is this trend over yet. So with oil pulling back like this, what am I looking for? Well, I got a really nice pin bar right here, right? Price is pulling in all these sellers, and now price is moving. And if we break up above these moving averages, if the strategy works the way that I like it to work, the fast RSI, right? So this is like a perfect setup right now, but I'm not going to take it until everything happens. So we got a pin bar. That's not enough for me. I need a couple levels to break. I need this fast RSI to cross. I need this MACD to continue to go over, and I'd like it to cross these moving averages. So I got a lot of time, because why would I mean, I could take it right now and it's still in the direction of the trend, but it might only go to these moving averages, this resistance, and continue, right? So right now on a 4-hour time frame, the trend is down. But what we need to understand is that the weekly trend is down and the monthly is down, but overall we're up and we're at a key monthly support level. So when this flips, see, we want to think about the flip. When this thing flips, okay, that's where the power comes. When this all of a sudden becomes back in trend continuation, when we see daily come back to green, and now we have monthly, daily, weekly back in the same direction, that's where this thing will really run, right? And so, you know, I'm looking forward to this particular trade, but I'm just going to be patient. No reason for me to I could take a small trade from here to here, and that's 30 pips, but I like to get a little bit more than that. And I want really high probability setups. So I'm going to be just waiting and being patient, right? So that was a great question. Let's go ahead and take a look at some more futures type stuff. And, you know, one that I've been trading a lot, and Anka and I were talking about this today before the section. She said the target was 700, and boom, it crushed the target. Good job, Anka, and one of your traders. I was telling Dave, like, I was thinking about, actually, this is a counter trend trade for me, but I still might take it just because of some of the important levels that we're bouncing off of. I have been trading this though for a while, and I've been trading it short, and it's this might, that alert gets me off guard. Hold on. Let's go back. And I'm actually having a lot of fun. Anyone else enjoying this? I enjoy talking about trading. It's just a lot of fun to me. I love doing, I love doing what I do. I really do. Okay, so this is the Nasdaq 100. I got to edit this indicator because it's just annoying. Okay, so right now, and I'm actually, right now you can see we broke out above. This strategy does work on every single, it works on short term. It works, right? But I just prefer the highest probability setup. So if you want to do this counter trend, you can. I would say that we have some support right in here, resistance right up here. But you can see on an hourly time frame, we had the fast RSI crossover. We crossed above the moving averages. I had an entry on this morning about 250, about 1148, right? And it's just been running. So that's pretty awesome. I'm really excited about that. And I'm actually in some trades right now, and I'm going to be closing them because I'm near the target. Okay, let me handle that. All right. So, yeah, so this is pretty nice, pretty good setup. Price crossed up above and did it. But let me go into do my long-term analysis. Okay, so this is still an uptrend, but you'll notice that we crossed below these moving averages here. It's still an uptrend officially, but the monthly candles are in charge. So we have 1, 2. This is actually a down month because it's green candle, but it hit the low and it didn't break that high. So this is actually, even though it's green, it's actually a down month. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row. We have a really important level at this 200 period moving averages and right here. It would not surprise me if we get some stalling out right here and then roll down into this next level. It would not surprise me at all. So the way that I've been trading this, as this monthly's been in charge and the weekly has been showing down and I'm below, I have been looking for pullbacks and I've been shorting. And so we can go ahead and take a look at some of those. Okay, and this right here, so right now, I would look for this to pull back up into here a little bit. And then if it comes down, go back to the short side, right? Because why? Because that's what's been working. That's what I've been doing. We've got, it broke this key level. And every time we get a pullback, there was one here, price broke lower and we went below the moving averages and really nice trade, right? So we popped up a bit, this is what you call a bull run in a bear market, right? It popped up into this range, really important range. If if we look at that, we can see how, we could draw a support level here. This is an important range. We got levels all over the place and the 200 period moving average. And so we had a really nice reversal. Look at that, a double top, price moved lower, and then away we went. And that was such a nice setup. So would I be thinking that we could do that again? Yeah, we could hit it here. We have a support level. And so I'm thinking about the trade way before I actually get into the trade. I'm thinking about the trade way in advance and, how to trade it and so that when the time comes, I'm ready. Right? When the time comes, I'm ready to take that trade. So that's another thing that I think is really important for traders to understand is remember when I was preaching and I was talking about back testing and doing all the work, another thing that's really cool is doing the work before the trade happens, right? I like to back test and learn about it, but then I like to identify areas and I'm like, okay, I know what's happening. So I'll just put a little shape in here and I'll draw this and I'll be like, oh, look at this little zone right here, right? I'll just draw this on the chart. And I'm like, do you see this zone? If price gets into this zone and it rejects, I'm looking for a short, right? So I have these, it might take 2 weeks to get here, but when it does, I'm ready for the trade, right? And, we could trade it up to that too. I know there are a lot of day traders don't care about this long-term stuff like I do. So if you're a day trader and you think, oh, well, why is he waiting? You know what? I like to wait a little bit. Okay. I like to wait for the setup to develop, and that's just me. But, I can draw a zone here down to the downside, but drawing zones in advance is really cool. I mean, it's just so cool because you know where the market is going, right? And you know where the market has been. And when it gets there and it does what you were anticipating, you're like, okay, I know what to do. I know what to do right here, right? And so I just wanted to see if see this zone, get that out of the way. See, I didn't even have to go over, but I knew that there was another zone here. See that? And so right now we're in between these areas. It's going to either come back down to this zone or come up to the next zone. So it's important to look at those areas and to be aware of them, right? And to really understand what the market is doing. So I think that's so helpful in trading, right? Is knowing these zones and just taking the time to do the work ahead of time. Do your homework. Trading doesn't have to be hard. It's actually simple, but do your homework beforehand, and then you can be prepared for what the market is going to do. Preparation is really important. And if you look at leadership and success, the people that take the time to prepare are the ones that are going to be successful. And I do that, and not just in trading, but in every area of my life. I've learned to take time to do preparation. There was a famous saying by someone, I don't know, they said if they had 8 hours to cut down a tree, they would spend 7 hours sharpening their axe, right? You're going to have to do the work, but take your time thinking about it, planning it, executing the strategy. Look, we all have a really amazing gift, and it's called our brains. And the reason why some people are successful and some aren't is because we use those brains. Today's world is so busy. We got cell phones, we got all these things, we got cars, microwave ovens, fast food, everything's on the go, go, right? And we're addicted. I talk about gambling. We're addicted to our phones, right? Well, that eliminates our brain power. We need to sit down in a quiet place. I do this, right? I sit down in a quiet place and I write down my thoughts. I write down my ideas. I write down my strategies. And what that does is that gives me space away from the noise, away from the charts, away from everything. And I will write down all these thoughts and ideas, and I'll do my preparation, and I'll be thinking. And that stuff is really important to be successful in trading, right? That stuff is really important to do your back testing, do your forward testing, learn your strategy. This is not a get rich quick. This is do your homework, learn how to trade. You will be successful. Give yourself the space you need to think. This brain muscle is powerful. And you know what? 95% of the people don't use it. The people that use that brain gift that God gave us, this thing, the people that use it, those are the ones that are going to be successful. So unplug, get away, use that brain of yours. It is a special gift. All right. So quick questions here. I think I have to end in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to sign off. I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. But there's a couple questions. So number one is Decker wants to know how he can join. So let me show you here. I got my website right here, and it's tradingstrategyguides.com. And if you want to join, just click this link here. We got a sale that's ending on June 30th. Okay, it is. And if you want to send me an email or text me, I'll give you a tour of the members area. But my phone number, I'm going to post it out. You can text me. My phone number is 724-493-9315. You can send me an email at info@tradingstrategyguides.com. But yeah, we have everything under the sun you could possibly imagine for trading. I mean, we got it all. So yeah, and it's on sale. Where price is going up on June 30th. And this is honestly, it's an incredible bargain because my mission is to help traders be successful. And you can actually, so that's right on the homepage of the website, but my mission is to help traders be successful, right? To make weekly cash flow. And that's all. It's what I care about. And so we've priced it really good. All right. So another question is, broker recommendation. I'm not really into giving people broker recommendations. If you did join, I would share some more info, but with all the regulatory stuff, that can be kind of a touchy issue. Okay, so someone says, being new to currency trading, you don't recognize the symbols. Well, this is US 100. That's the Nasdaq 100. USD JPY, that is US yen. NZD CAD is US or New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. You'd have to get familiar and learn all of those symbols if you were going to be a currency trader. Okay, any other last minute questions? Other than that, let me know if you enjoyed the, you can send me an email or text. I'll send you a tour. And if you guys let me know if you enjoyed it. If there was any value in here, let me know at all. I really appreciate that. Capital requirement. I also have inside of my members area, I have a prop firm, right? And so what that means is that once you join, you can get access to our prop account, and you take a small test, but we don't offer it to anyone, only my members, because I want to make sure you pass. I hate seeing people gamble on prop accounts. So basically you take a small test, you pay $250 and you get access to a $25,000 account. So, so that's really good. So what capital requirements would be, if you don't have, it would be probably 1,000, but if you don't have that much, you could always sign up for my firm. All right, well, that's about it, guys. I'm gonna sign off, but I'm glad Howard liked it, Z liked it, Frank liked it. Good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the feedback. That encourages me, because this is what I like to do. So it's nice when you can do what you like to do. And I can make some money trading. I closed some good trades today. I've had a great week. Yes, I do help. I help people get funded, Stephen. Yes, I do. That's my mission. All right, David. I'm going to sign it off if that's okay. But I just want to thank David from Timing Research and Anka from Trade Out Loud. I thank you guys for the opportunity, and I really appreciate your guys' relationship. Thank you so much.
It was great having you, Casey.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Great way to open the day.
All right. Thank you.